Welcome to Eternal Rambles, where the Eternals ramble eternally. My name's Aaron.
And I'm Cody.
And we are back! Very briefly, before we get into our main topic, we're going to give you a slight update, but if you do not care, or you're watching this in the future where this is irrelevant, you can skip to this time card here, or maybe I'll put them in chapters. I don't know, I've never done that before. Editing! YouTube. Cody and I have moved again.
Again, for
the third time in 4 months.
yeah. What? Like, actually, it's like,
because we moved out of the apartment in September.
Uh-huh.
We were in the truck until January.
Yeah.
And then we were hopping. This is the third place we've been since being in Florida, which is where we are now. We are in Florida.
Yeah, we have moved to Florida.
Why Florida? Because this is where we want to go to school. Are we in school? No. We plan to be.
We plan to be in school, but for now, for the foreseeable future, this is where we will be.
We're still in kind of a growing pains thing. We have access to our PCs and the microphones, so we should be regularly putting out monthly content. We haven't been for the past few months simply because, well, you could probably gather from what we just told you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't promise anything. Like, we're still working on those projects we've been hinting at for a while now. No release dates. I mean, we assume next month. We're like 99.99% sure what video is going to come out next month because I'm actively editing it. We've recorded it. All that's taken care of. Mm-hmm. It's just got to be finished.
Yep.
And then we have a pipeline after that. It just depends on how quickly we're able to do the research for those videos.
It also depends on Mad Dragon on whether or not he's going to participate.
Yeah, because we have like a soft idea. Like, we've pitched to him and he's willing, but like, how capable are we of our schedules lining up for that to actually work?
Exactly. That's really what that.
Not to mention, Kodig is potentially getting a new job.
Yeah, exactly.
And that will change his schedule. And my job doesn't have a set schedule, so who knows? But we're gonna. So everything is on fire still, as it has always been. But that's where we've been for the past couple months. For anyone who regularly watches
For the
us.
3 people that regularly watch
our
us,
7 subscribers.
We have 86 subscribers.
Do we actually?
We have 86 subscribers.
I guess they're like you, where they just subscribe to people and they have 900 subscriptions. They just don't keep track of them.
What are you talking about? We have at least 10 loyal viewers.
Anyway, today...
Oh, is it your family? No, my family doesn't watch this content. Are you crazy? They don't take the time. They don't care.
And then my family doesn't watch this stuff either. Very, very clearly, from some of the things I've said, they've never talked to me about it. Which is fine. I mean, it's the truth, and if they want to confront me about it, well, cool. I live thousands of miles from you now. Have fun with that one.
More like 1,000 miles, but yeah. I would say thousands.
I would walk exactly 1,000 miles. Anyway, so we've been putting off this specific podcast. This is a pretty obvious podcast to go over. We've been putting it off for a while now, mostly because we've had friends who wanted to be included in it. Mm-hmm. But again, like we said, logistics-wise, now we just decided to just burn the bridge and just do it. Especially because recent events, as in recent from the time
recent leaks
of recordings, yeah.
For
those of you who do not know, who are unaware, the the characters are adults.
Yeah, the characters are adults, yeah.
Film of the Avatar crew, Team Boomerang, or the Boomerang Squad, sorry.
The Boomerang Squad, yeah.
Got leaked in its entirety, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I've only seen clips. I don't know if it's actually real. It seems like it's actually real because the voices are the same. So.
I've watched none of it, mostly because I haven't been arsed to actually go search down for it and watch it. Because from the clips that we've seen, the quality is not great on the film. It's literally just it's like those people who used to release they recorded it on their iPhone and posted it to YouTube, those kinds of quality films. And even if the movie is bad, I would rather watch it even if I don't see it in theaters, which maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Honestly, I'd rather just support Team Avatar, is what it really boils down
I only want to support them for worthwhile measures. For example, the live-action Netflix show? No.
They're not on that.
No, they started it, though.
They started it, and then they split because they were told that
live-action Avatar is just a bad idea.
They were told that they were going to have the creative control over it, right? Mm-hmm. And the studio kept making decisions that they disagreed with from storytelling standpoint, and so they left. Mm-hmm. So all the story decisions that they made in the live action show that we all hate, can be blamed on the studio.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, you have to make certain changes between live action and non-live action.
You can't compress over... I don't know.
Well, each episode's an hour.
Well, no, each episode's an hour, but there's like 26 episodes in season 1 of the original Avatar, so 22 minutes per episode, so it's 3 episodes in an hour about, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, so that's over 9 hours into an 8 hour, which can be done, for sure. The problem
is like they get rid of, like, for example, the opening scene is a fight scene.
Yes.
Right?
Which we should never see the air nomads defending themselves. Like, the discretionary shot of just seeing Monkey Yatso, a skeleton, is way more effective than watching him actually fight. Mostly because he gets punked at the very end, which is definitely not how he died.
No, absolutely not. He got overwhelmed by numbers. That is the only thing that could have taken down Gyatso.
I mean, arguably you could say that the live action fixes a plot hole where it's like, how did they kill all the air nomads? Like, well, because of that festival where all the airbenders, all of them, every single one of them, all of them were going to be there. Like, here's the thing though. That still wouldn't work, because you cannot tell me a number of them didn't just bounce as soon as... Like, the children! Now, here's an explanation that Ryan posed, which is much more believable, honestly. Two theories. One, and, like, you know, Pat made, like, a short about it, like, Ty Lee is, like, the descendant of an air nomad who went into hiding, and basically their culture was destroyed. Like, not all the air nomads died, some of them went into hiding, and thus the air nomad culture was wiped out by Sozin. That works. And then Ryan posited the idea where the air nomads themselves could very easily hide in society. The sky bisons couldn't.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
So they could just hunt the bison and by extension the air nomads. That was the biggest problem with Aang a lot of the time, is a lot of times it wasn't that they noticed him, it was that they saw Appa.
Yeah.
Which is a fair point.
But again, since they bond for life, it's like...
Yeah, but then, again, there have been examples of, like, you know, the Earth Kingdom and then the Northern Watershed. There were locations where air nomads could have sought refuge and been fine. But again, it's the idea, like, it's not that all the people were wiped out. It's their culture was destroyed. And because airbending, as explained in Korra, is a very spiritual element, because they lost their culture, airbending itself kind of went away. Especially because the original teachers of the air nomads, the airbending, the sky bisons, were almost completely wiped out anyway. Yeah. I'm ignoring Avatar Wong's storyline.
Here's my biggest problem. I hate that people assume that they can't both exist. Because they can. They absolutely can.
Who can't both exist?
They can both exist. You can have both of those explanations be canon at the same time. It really isn't that hard. You're just like, okay, you have the explanation that like the lion turtles give them bending, right? It was able to just give people bending. Brilliant. Fantastic. You can have that, right? There's two ways that you can play that about with the original, you know, benders.
I mean, they show in
just because you have bending,
I mean, they literally
doesn't necessarily mean you know how to fucking use it.
Well, they literally show in that episode the explanation of the Dance of Fire. Like, literally, you see Wong or Wang, whatever the fuck, literally doing the dance with the dragon. Therefore, he learned how to master firebending from a dragon. Exactly. So that still works, but there are two problems I have with that explanation. It is an explanation, and it doesn't necessarily, because, like, people can be wrong about history. Like, I know a lot of people talk about, like, oh, this ruins the canon. Like, people can just be wrong about things that happened thousands of years ago. That's entirely possible, guys.
Yeah.
We ourselves are learning more about our history every day. One, it explains the magic, which a soft explanation, like in Avatar, it worked. Like, oh, the moon was the original airbender. Well, waterbender. The sky bisons were the original airbenders. The dragons, the badger moles, like
which is all true.
It's like that works, and it's a soft explanation where it's like, oh, like, well, these tale of the secret of the two lovers, where it's like the founding of Omashu. That's a great story. Does it fully explain everything? No, but the story's nice.
And again, it's a story.
So, like, but like then you go into like, oh, here's the actual explanation and the actual origin. I'm like, I don't think you should have done that. Honestly, I think the vagueness works in its favor.
I don't think it really matters. I think with Korra specifically, it's okay that they did it. It's not like it doesn't hurt.
I mean,
the lore.
The one thing I really don't like. This is my point number 2. The thing I really, really, really don't like about it, though, is that it explains you can't learn to bend an element. You can't. You have to have that spark in your soul, granted by the descendants of the lion turtles, that give you the power to bend. The original explanation was through dedication and the original art form, a non-bender could become a bender.
Yeah.
Now, nobody tried, and honestly, it makes sense that that's a lot of effort, and if you're born with it, you're born with it. But, like, it kind of was a kind of a checkmate against Amon in season 1 of Korra, where it's like, you could be a bender if you tried. But then season 2, it learns out, no, you actually can't. You're either born with it or you're not. Sucks to suck. And I'm like, I didn't really like that idea. I mean, that's a personal thing, but we are talking about our personal preferences here. I just like the idea where it's like anyone with enough dedication and learning from the true art form of the bending could become a bender.
I don't know where you see that it specifically states that you can't become a bender without the spark of the lion turtles. Like, yeah, they can give you bending, but it doesn't state anywhere.
Yeah, but Aang literally is like, I'm taking away your bending.
Yeah, but that's just him blocking.
No, it's not him blocking. It's him literally using spirit energy to, like, literally rip that part of your soul out. Whereas Amon was specifically using blood bending to block certain key channels preventing you from accessing your bending. Which, by the way, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, that would cause a stroke. That would just kill you.
Yeah. Here's my thing. It doesn't say anywhere in that aspect that that not everyone has, because everyone's descended from those same people, which means everyone would have that ability. It's just some people would have it stronger than others, and other people would have to cultivate it. You would have to cultivate your ability to.
Well, now we're arguing.
Bend.
Now we're arguing genetics versus, like, spiritual potential.
Well, the thing is if you're going off of if your argument is the fact that you have to have the spark from the original lion turtles. Well, then if that's the argument, everyone's descended from those same people that all had that spark. So
yeah, but it has to manifest. Like, for example, in the episode with the fortune teller, the twins are like, "I'm an earthbender. I'm not." They're literally twins.
You know, but again, it could just be that he hasn't cultivated. Like, some people are just born with a natural talent to do certain things, right? And some people have to cultivate that talent. That doesn't mean that they can't do it. It doesn't say anywhere that you can't.
I just don't like the idea where the elements had to be gifted to humanity. I just that's the thing where I'm like, I didn't like that concept.
I don't think that's a bad thing, but like that leans into personal preference, which is not really.
Well, I'm just speaking my opinion.
Yeah,
it's like I didn't like. It's one of the things where it's like Korra did a lot of things to the canon. They explained certain stuff, they retconned other things, and it's like, I don't like the direction this is heading in. One of the reasons why, even though I kind of liked Korra early on, as the series went on, I fell off of it.
Yeah, Korra got really depressing in like seasons 3 and 4.
Well, because Avatar came from more of a fun for all the family aspect, whereas Korra was leaning more into like that TV-14 kind of like teenage perspective on things.
Well,
and it's like you should very rarely actually pitch a show in that mindset.
Well, because it was meant for the people who watched Avatar, which is like that point we're teenagers.
Yeah, that's true.
I know because I was the target audience.
But pulling from another example, Ben 10 Alien Force was an example of like this show aged with its audience, telling a more mature story. But like it didn't like really ruin anything. It had a natural progression for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Then the studio intervened and Alien Force season 3, then Ultimate Alien, and then eventually Omniverse. But we're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, my problem is Korra.
I mean, Korra's budget got eviscerated for season 4 because it just wasn't performing.
Yeah, unfortunately. There's the thing, like, I liked Korra. I liked Legend of Korra, the show. I enjoyed a lot of aspects of it, and there were certain parts of it that I didn't like. I didn't particularly love Korra a lot of the times. Just
there was so much for Korra as a character.
The problem, and I don't have a problem with the whole her being born a prodigy.
No, that's fine.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, you don't give Korra problems that can be punched because she's suited for that. You give her problems she has to think about, which, to be fair, they kind of did. But then the problem was the fan base was like, this is boring. We don't like how boring this is. We want Korra to be doing cool Avatar things. Which is why season 2 ended with a fucking light Avatar versus dark Avatar Dragon Ball Z fucking Hadoken battle. And then season 3 was a bunch of mindless explosions.
Season 4 was actually pretty fucking...
But there was a lot of bare bones
and Korra was
it was like, oh, Kovira's a dictator. What is she doing? Oh, she's putting her dissenters into internment camps. What is she doing that's giving her dissenters? Oh, look at the scene where she's being mean to the bandits. They're bandits. This is why Earth Kingdom's in this mess. fuck them.
Here's my thing, right? Season 4 I actually do enjoy, unlike a lot of other people.
I mean, the giant mech battle was just like, we are distancing ourselves so far from Avatar at this point.
Ignoring that, I like a lot of the... I think Season 4 kind of brings the show back down to earth in an aspect of, like, ignoring the fucking final fight. Mm-hmm. The rest of the season is, like, it really lets you delve into the emotional angle of what Korra is dealing with, mm-hmm. right? Because it's like, okay, so she's dealing with everything that happened with the Avatar state in Season 3.
Yeah.
She's dealing with being alone. Mm-hmm. She's dealing with having lost, everything from well, it's not necessarily having lost. It's more of like a self-exerted exile, essentially. Yeah. Where she's like, because she's going through depression.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Sure. And a lot of people... she had her soul ripped out. They were torturing her, trying to kill her. She's been through a couple things.
Yeah. And I hear a lot of people. It's like, oh, Aang lost his entire people. It's like, guys.
Yeah, that was off screen.
Yeah, that was off screen for one, and for two, Aang wasn't there when it happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, he lost his entire people.
It is a great tragedy for Aang. But the difference was, Aang was very lucky to immediately find more friends.
Exactly.
Korra went through a lot of physical abuse, and that's a lot harder to kind of like,
And spiritual abuse.
Well, again, Korra was just taught wrong, honestly. Not her fault, but like she was just... That's one of the interesting things about the show in Season 2, where it's like, Korra was prevented from taking her Avatar journey, which is not what they're supposed to do. So as an Avatar, she's stunted. Mm-hmm. That's a great concept. It's why airbending is so hard for her, because the spiritual angle of the which is weird when you think about it, because she was literally taught by the White Lotus, who were literally supposed to be like philosophy, beauty, but like they didn't teach her anything about the philosophy.
Well, the biggest problem is like the whole point of the Avatar journey is not just about learning the 4 elements.
It's to learn.
It's about seeking out teachers.
Yeah, that work with you and seeing the people of the world you are trying to and experiencing the cultures.
Whenever you're kept into one place being taught, they can teach you the spiritual angles all they want. The problem is they're only teaching it. She's not experiencing it, and that's a lot of that's the White Lotus's fault. And to be fair, this is the first time that this has happened with an Avatar.
That we know of.
Well, yeah, that we know of. And a lot of it kind of boiled down to...
The Red Lotus tried to kill her when she was a Bobby.
Exactly.
So the White Lotus like, we can't go this long without an Avatar. We saw how that worked out last time, so we need to protect her.
Exactly. So it was like... there was a lot of issues that happened there, and honestly, what they should have done is just had someone traveling with...
Katara could have gone with her.
Yeah. Katara would have kicked anyone's ass.
She's a bloodbender. The Red Lotus can come at her all they want.
Just send the original team Avatar, fucking... I mean, Sokka's dead. But
at that point, yeah, Zuko was retired, right? They could have gone with her.
Yeah, Zuko would have...
Toph could have gone. Like, yeah, this would have been a non-issue.
Toph just been like...
I mean, to be fair, there is an issue with it. They brought in Toph, Katara, and Zuko, is that they probably would have started treating Korra more like Aang than as her own person, which would have been an issue in its own right, but still...
Yeah, because Toph still calls her Twinkle Toes.
Oh, to be fair, Toph has no connection to Korra at all, so all she's experiencing is the previous...
Yeah. She's experiencing...
I mean, it's literally... It ties back into that one line of dialogue. Do you really think friendships can be strong enough they can last lifetimes? I don't see why not.
Absolutely.
That's the whole point of that line of dialogue. It's not that, she only sees Aang. It's like, no, she's greeting her friend like she always has.
It's so fucking funny that you had all those people that were complaining. It's like, how come fucking Korra learned how to metal bend, but Aang couldn't? And it's like, guys, Aang barely learned how to earthbend.
Aang was an airbender. It was his opposite element.
He was not hard-headed enough to learn how to metal bend.
No,
Korra is literally...
She's a brawler. She's like, I will beat you into submission. Because that was the thing I liked about Korra.
I don't think there's any...
That was the thing I loved about Korra in that first thing when she's dealing with the 3 triads, where she's like, it's like, earthbender, waterbender, firebender, all at once. You can't handle us. Korra does. I bet. And she literally just bullies all 3 of these fully grown men. It's like, that was fantastic. That was a great scene for Korra. It worked out so... The problem, again, ending with the Avatar state, again, I was bringing up before, Korra's whole thing is, if the problem is can she punch it, she should always be yes. Bringing the Avatar state would make Korra an overwhelming force that people wouldn't be able to overcome. That's fine! That's actually literally what the Avatar is! They literally have the spiritual machismo to beat anything into submission. Be like, I maintain balance. You're fucking with that balance? Guess what, bitch? Whoosh! Now, it's up to the Avatar to choose how they use that power. Great power comes great responsibility, all that jazz. But then, when the show was presenting Korra with an issue of how does Korra, the Avatar, deal with the equalist movements? Oh, these are, normal, non-bending people. They don't see themselves having a connection to the Avatar. They see the Avatar as somebody who protects benders. Like, there are more and more restrictions being put on the non-benders by the Republic simply because Amon is rallying them. It's the whole thing about, it's an issue the Avatar has to deal with, she has to deal with the inequality that non-benders feel, while also dealing with the fact of there is actively a criminal gang made entirely of benders trying to, push the city around, and they specifically target non-benders. That's an issue. Now, the Avatar can solve that problem. It just takes a lot of time and dedication and talking about it. They didn't want to actually do that. They just wanted to make Amon a liar. Oh, he's a waterbender. Oh no, our figurehead for non-bending is lying to us. Well, there goes the whole equalist movement. It's like Unalaq being like, oh, the Avatar's journey, was kind of ruined. Like, my idiot brother disrespected the spirits, and now I have to, find balance between the spirits and the human world. That works. It's a big issue. Korra has to try to be very, very neutral in this regard until they find out assassins have been sent after her, specifically her father, which is when she chooses to no longer be neutral in this argument. And then you get to fucking Zaire, and it's like, well, this philosophy is just inherently incredibly like, oh, what you didn't realize that completely disrupting the government of a nation would result in somebody like Kuvira coming in and taking complete authoritarian power? You didn't see that one coming? Like, good God, man. It's one of the things where it's like, again, it was him taking the airbending philosophy of freedom and releasing yourself from worldly connections and trying to impose that on other nations. Again, upsetting the balance between the four nations. And the Avatar is supposed to deal with that problem. And then they ruin it in season 4 by having him be the one that walks Korra through her spirit journey instead of Jinora, somebody she trusts. That was really bad and stupid. I don't know why they did that. So they have the framework for Korra to be a very interesting Avatar in a way that Aang couldn't be. I mean, Aang's biggest problem is that he was fucking 11.
Yeah.
And dealing with a war, and he was a pacifist. Now we have the opposite problem where Korra likes to fight. She loves to fight. If she had fought Ozai, it wouldn't have been an issue. But now she's dealing with a world a lot more complicated than Aang was dealing with. So you have a brawler who's been sheltered her entire life, dealing with culture and philosophy and ideas, and be like, oh, wow, this is way out of my pay grade, and that could have been a really interesting idea for a show. And if they're going for an audience who are older and are more mentally stimulated, that would have worked.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that you can look at between the two shows. If you swapped Korra and Aang, they would be able to perfectly solve each other's problems.
Well, Aang maybe not quite so much of the whole cultural thing. Again, he was 11, but still.
Yeah, but like he's a lot more of
I mean, he was just generally friendly. It's like the equalists being like, "Oh, you're protecting only benders." It's like, he's like, "No, I love everybody."
Whereas Korra would not have hesitated to just fucking
deck Ozai.
Just like
that one Earth Kingdom general who's like, "You're ready to face the Fire Lord now." Oh, we just trigger the Avatar state. Korra's like, "Bet."
Yeah, she would have 100% done that.
Oh, she would have thrashed Ozai.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Ozai was a Fire Nation prodigy. Well, Korra's also a prodigy, but in 3 elements, so take that. Also, she would have fought him way before the comet, which is the only thing that gave Ozai a chance against Aang in the first place.
Yeah, because like even then, it's like the second he goes into the Avatar state, you can see it's
thrashes him.
Ozai didn't even stand a chance.
Running away the entire time, literally. Fear of God put into Ozai.
Wasn't even close.
Literally, that's like Fire Lord Ozai. You and your fathers have wreaked havoc on the balance of this world. Ozai is literally shitting himself in that moment, like, I'm going to die. He's sitting there completely helpless.
Yep.
That's another problem with Korra, though. Oh, Korra gets the Avatar state. Cool. What does it allow her to do? Fight the opponent on equal footing?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I can't really.
I don't understand why. It's like, oh, we have to nerf Korra. We have to disconnect her from the Avatar state and the whole line. She has to deal with everything on her own. Why? Aang being able to talk to Korra about the issues of his personal past life is fine. It's a great concept. And it's the whole thing about it where it's like, oh, well, that means Aang can solve the problem for Korra. No, because Roku's solution and Kiyoshi's solution and Korok's solution and Yang Chan's solution to Aang's problem, Aang went, no, that's not helpful. Yeah. So Korra dealing with Aang is like, oh, this is what I would do. And Korra's like, cool, thanks for the advice, really appreciate it. I'm gonna do this, though.
I'm gonna call Kiyoshi instead.
Kiyoshi, shit, Korra, I think we're gonna have to kill this guy. Like, there was room. There was so much potential for Korra to be fantastic. But then the studio didn't like it, and the fans didn't like it, so the writers had to be like, well, fuck, guess we're doing this now, and it just collapsed.
Made everything significantly worse, unfortunately. No, I think, and here's my biggest problem with that. Like, obviously they severed Korra's connection to the past avatars.
I mean, I'm not against Rava as a concept. It makes sense. The avatars will be a fusion between the human and a spirit. That's fine.
I'm not against that, but it's like the severing of the connection. I feel like because like it removes.
Why?
It removes so much.
It removes what makes the Avatar interesting.
Yeah, because like obviously we all know that they're making the next Avatar series right now, which is like the little Earthbender girl, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so weird because it used to be before Aang broke the trend. If
they weren't told you were 18.
Huh?
I mean, you weren't told you were the Avatar till you were 18.
No. I mean, Aang broke the trend of like if you look at all the previous Avatars that we know of specifically, it's a pattern of guy girl, guy girl, guy girl, guy girl, guy girl. Okay. And then Aang broke the pattern by being the first male.
And now Korra
and then Korra.
I mean, I think that's fine, honestly. It's not as bad as like, you know, being like, oh, it's earth, water, fire.
No, I just thought it was weird that like they broke the pattern with Aang. It's like you specifically made this pattern. Why not keep to it? I mean, it's whatever. It's not a big deal.
Not important. I hate people though. They're like, oh, in the Air Nomad, they saw like there's only room for one more Avatar, which means Korra was prophesized to break the cycle. It's like, guys, that's
they did not think that.
They didn't think that far ahead.
No,
don't do that.
No, here's my thing. Right, I feel like in the next show they're gonna find a way to restore the past Avatars because like that's a huge.
I mean, literally, the whole thing about it is
to the story.
The whole thing about it is them giving. I think the entire reason they cut Korra's connection to the Avatars is because they realized giving her full access to the Avatar state in season 1 was a really bad idea. Mm-hmm. Korra having access to the 3 elements, struggling with Air Nomad, the airbending because of the spiritual angle, and thus having difficulties with the Avatar state itself because it's a very spiritual bit in nature. Is a thing, because that was literally one of the things about Aang's journey, where it's like, oh, I can only talk to Roku when I'm in the spirit world, or oh, I can only talk to Roku when I'm like the solstice, or I can only talk to Roku when I'm in a very dense spirit-laden area. And then Aang realized later on, part in his journey, he's like, no, I can just talk to Roku whenever I want. That's part of his progression and his understanding of the Avatar. Korra could have had that same exact thing. It's like, oh, Aang could have popped up at any time. Not if Korra doesn't know how to summon him.
Yeah.
And it's also really stupid because it's been a whole thing where it's like I feel like another reason they did it because they didn't feel confident in their ability to write.
Well, here's my biggest thing with this, right? Korra was never going to have anywhere near the same struggles that Aang had because Aang was living in a world where the Avatar hadn't existed for 100 years.
Yes.
No one knew how the Avatar operated.
Exactly.
No one knew
airbending.
No one knew airbending existed. No one knew, or still existed.
Yeah.
No one knew what an Avatar was supposed to be like.
Everyone was
anyone that had ever
caught
experienced an Avatar
not to mention he was
dead.
Not to mention he was a child.
Exactly.
Very different from because again, before Aang, everyone was told at 18 they were the Avatar.
Yeah.
So they were an adult before they went on their journey.
I fully believe every past Avatar before Roku, not Roku.
Korok, Yangchen.
Is it Roku? The fire?
Roku.
Okay,
yeah.
I got it right. Okay, cool. Before Roku, right? Because I just my brain went to Roku TV. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Before him, right? I firmly believe that all of the avatars knew what they could do as an avatar because everyone around them, right? Everyone that would have told them that they were the avatar would have known what the avatar could do from the previous avatars.
Well, I mean, they have the spirit sages where every nation had a collection of
exactly
priests whose job was to aid them on their journey.
Avatar, yeah. So all the avatars would have had experience with what the previous avatar was able to do, which Aang would not have had because Aang for one, got told really young.
Because they suspected war was on the horizon.
Exactly.
Which is very good on them. Good call.
Yeah. For two, honestly bad on them, because if he had just died, then the fucking cycle would have moved on.
Yes.
And the way
yes,
it
but
was already established that the world would never.
But if he had died, then the Airbenders just would have wiped out entirely. And
yeah,
and there would have been
that the world would never have allowed airbending to actually go extinct.
Yeah, but that seems like it's literally
revisionist.
It's literally revisionist. It's literally pulling all the blood. Aang should have died. It's like don't. He was 11.
I'm not saying he should have died. What I'm saying is
that's like Legend of Zelda bullshit, where it's like Breath of the Wild only happened because Zelda didn't let Link die.
Like if he had died, the world would have restored itself sooner.
Well, then that's the problem with that is that's an argument that the Avatar doesn't need to exist, which is literally an argument that a lot of villains try to make in Korra, and unfortunately, it seems a lot of them were just right. And I don't know about you. I don't like a story about a chosen one narrative about a long cycle of reincarnation of a cool character going on a journey and being like, yeah, you shouldn't actually exist. The world would be better off without you.
No, not better off without you specifically. Just like, the Avatar needs to exist. It just didn't need to be Aang, is what I'm saying, technically speaking.
Well, that's the thing.
From a technical
nobody
perspective,
gets to choose to be the Avatar. It's thrusted upon them.
What I'm saying is if the reincarnation had moved to the next cycle, it wouldn't have...
Yeah, but that's bad. I don't like that idea. That just shits on...
I never said I liked the idea. I said it's possible.
But then again, it's the whole thing with Korra. It's like, that's another storytelling in Korra. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? Why would you do that to this boy? Literally telling Aang, oh yeah, you should have died, because if you had died, then everything would have been solved without you. That's really shitty.
It's true, though. Unfortunately.
I mean, like, the fans can make that assumption, sure, but the show should never flat out say it. I don't know what it is about Korra and just wanting to literally shit stomp literally all the protagonists. Korra, Aang, all the previous avatars, literally looking them in the eye and being like, you're bad.
After all of the shit that Korra went through, they're like, alright, the next avatar is a post-apocalyptic world. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, to be fair, and Matt Patton at Film Theory actually made this thing where it's like the Avatar actually is making the world worse, like, technically speaking, like, from Yang Chen to... Well, technically it was the guy before Yang Chen. To... That person to Yang Chen, to Korra, to Kyoshi, to Roku. They're all essentially responsible for making the world the next Avatar has to clean up.
Well, that's just the cycle.
I mean, it's true, but there's also the thing about it is where it's like the Avatar...
the world would have been falling apart.
Because here's the thing. The Avatar is a person. They're not like, just because their job is to keep balance in the world doesn't mean like they're necessarily going to be good at it.
Yeah.
It's another kind of reason with like making Rava like an actual entity with her own intelligence. It's kind of weird because it's like, well, why didn't she just say, hey, do your job better? But like, again, we're ignoring that. It's not an issue of, because like even then it's like, oh, well, every Avatar is there. They have the ability to just like, keep maintaining the balance. Like there's like a 30-year period between each Avatar where it's like the previous one died, then it has to be born, live a life, turn 18, get told to the Avatar, go on their journey, and then become a full-fledged Avatar. There's 30 years of time for shit to go wrong in that interim.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against the idea of, like, the world, like, falling apart between Korra and the next Avatar. Because, to be fair, from what we've seen of Korra, and it's not Korra's fault, it's the writer's fault, but unfortunately, she's a bad Avatar!
Well, all the Avatars are quote-unquote bad Avatars.
Apparently Aang was the best Avatar in a long fucking time.
Yeah, because Aang actually tried his best to solve...
And everything went to shit after he died.
Yeah. Aang tried his best to solve all of the problems, and he did. He did solve all the problems. The problem was that he solved them so well that, like, more problems raised from the lack of problems.
Well, here's the thing. Aang's whole thing was the nations have to be able to rule themselves. It's the whole point. Yep. But I'm setting up an area, like Republic City, and I'm setting up everyone where they can be self-sufficient. And then they were self-sufficient. And the people in charge of those self-sufficiencies then fucked things up because they were a human being. And that's how human beings are. The system will always break down. That's just true. That's a fact of life. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how well of a system you create, eventually it will erode. Yep. Hence the Avatar existing. Somebody always has to be around to be able to fix the problems that generate over time.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Because it sucks. Because, like, I honestly really do like Korra. I like so much about her, the storyline she should have had, but then the show just didn't do it. And that made me angry. Hence why I just don't like the show.
No, it's like, like I said, after all the shit that she's been through, they're just like, all right, we're ending the world, and the next Avatar has to go through the whole end of the world thing. I'm like, are you just making everything that she did completely pointless?
I think they were just trying to like give themselves a blank slate to not have to deal with any like Republic City and everything like that.
That is fucking lame. I'm not gonna. You know, I saw someone post like, and don't get me wrong, I have no problem with the whole like disability thing because she doesn't have legs.
She doesn't?
No, she doesn't have legs.
Oh, well, Toph's proven.
In the design that we've seen, she doesn't have legs.
Well, Toph's proven that you can be disabled and still be an incredibly powerful bender.
Oh, absolutely. But like someone posted, it's like, oh, what? You can't be disabled, and it's like, I don't think you understand how important legs are to earth bending.
I don't think you understand how important legs are to martial arts.
Now, that's only from one design that we've seen of her so far. So we've seen one drawing of her, no legs, and like,
I mean,
an airbender companion.
I mean, the whole thing about it is like you need to be able to do these complex stances. Because the thing that made Avatar really cool in the first place was the fight
she has
scenes.
prosthetic legs, is what I mean.
Well, yeah, like she can still do those stances, but the whole thing about it is like it's really cool for the fight scenes. And if she uses their prosthetics and has no difficulty, why does she have them?
Exactly. That's kind of the problem that people are having. It just seems like
Toph, like this is the great thing with Toph, for example. Like, yeah, she's disabled. She's blind. It's like, oh, she's earthbending to see. But then you have other situations like when she's on Appa, she hates it because she can't see anything besides Appa. She's in the air, and the desert, it's sand. She couldn't see shit, and as a result, Appa got stolen. Like, she literally, her disability played into her character, and as a result of her disability, certain things went poorly that wouldn't have happened if she could see.
It's like that. I love that one scene with that one post that I saw of someone being like, when. And during the attack during the Fire Nation battle at the end of season 3, when they're attacking the blimps and she's hanging and she's about to fall and Sokka grabs her. In that moment,
she has no idea.
The only thing she can see is
Sokka.
and she puts her full trust in him, which is just like such a beautiful moment. And the fucking music playing.
It's like, I don't think Boomerang's coming back this time, Toph. It's so sad. Like, honestly, and the thing about it that makes that scene work is, honestly, you'd believe they'd do it. This is the final battle. The show's over. You'd believe that Toph and Sokka in this moment could die. They completed their goal. They did it. They fulfilled their role. The hands of the Force took their hands up. Rogue One could happen again in this moment. And then it's like, oh no, Suki came back and they're okay. And you're like, oh, thank God. But that's what makes that scene work, is that you believe it.
Yeah. It's like they could very well die in this moment. Because they haven't shied away from killing people in this show.
Wait, did Jet just die? You know, honestly, it was really vague.
Which, by the way, is crazy because, like, obviously...
Because, man, let's not forget...
Zuko knew Jet.
These are children.
Yeah. Like, Zuko knew Jet.
Zuko's getting so much more context from watching this. It's like,
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's like, oh, shit. It's like, because, like, they were friends for a little bit.
Like, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They did one heist together.
Yeah. And it's like, oh...
Well, the reason why Jet and Zuko worked out initially is because they were both just really angry teenagers.
That's the thing that a lot of people forget is that, again, they are kids.
They're children.
They are kids.
The oldest one of them, I think, is Zuko, who at most is 16.
Yeah, and that's just something that I saw someone portray. It's like,
well, to be fair, there's also like fucking that one Earthbender guy who shows up periodically, the one who wasn't allowed to Earthbend because it was against a rule, and Katara told him to Earthbend, and you end up that prison. That guy, the one whenever he came back for Day of Black Sun, he had a mustache.
Yeah,
he's technically the oldest. But he still wasn't 18, though, because he was told to go with them on Appa, so he wasn't a full-on adult yet. So technically, he's the oldest not-adult character, but he's not part of the gang, so...
No, he's not part of the gang. We don't... Oh, dude, he was part of the gang before Zuko was.
I also find it a little weird that in Season 3, eventually they just dump him and the wheelchair boy and the Duke. Like, they just go separate ways, and it's just the gang again for a while. It's like, what? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
They just ditched him, and they brought Suki back in, which was cool. We like Suki. We stand Suki. The fact that her and Sokka didn't canonically end up together is stupid.
They better explain that in the fucking movie. If they don't explain the movie...
The only explanation is that she died.
That's the only explanation.
Only explanation I'll accept.
Only reasonable explanation. Like, when you see her fucking Spider-Man crawl up the side of a fucking
That's
prison wall...
some girl. Tell me about it. Fucking need somebody like Suki in his life, honestly. Somebody who finds his chicanery charming, but won't put up with his bullshit.
Exactly.
Everyone else, though, it's like, I've seen so many people been like shipping like Toph and Sokka, and to be fair, that relationship could have worked, but they didn't even do that. So
no. But why we don't know who?
Toph didn't end up with anybody. She had a series of baby daddies.
Yeah, we just didn't know who the baby daddies were.
Which is fine. We don't need to.
No, we don't.
To be fair, Toph. Okay. Aang being a shitty parent makes sense. Toph being a shitty parent makes sense. They're just the way they were raised, the way everything worked out. Like it just works for their characters. Yeah. It's okay.
It's just weird that Toph became this like super rule fucking. Like...
I don't think it's that strange, honestly. You know, coming up from the whole thing of like, you know, you have troubled kids who are like gangsters. They have like a lot of potential. They're really good at it. So because they have a lot of potential, because they have all this power, they start kind of exerting it around them. So like to kind of fix them, give them some sense of discipline, they go into like the military or something like that to like beat some rules into them, and then they take that really because it kind of like saves them from being like, you know, the most notorious criminal of all time. It makes perfect sense that Toph became police chief of Republic City. It makes sense. Yeah. Now people being like, oh, she was a criminal, she would never... Yeah, she would. It makes total sense. And here's the thing, guys. If she didn't become the police chief, then she just would have been the fucking blind bandit, the runaway, and then the gang would have had to dealt with her. This was the best outcome for Toph, other than being thrown in prison. Yeah. These were the two timelines Toph was in.
Oh...
It's just people, the whole thing, anti-authority and stuff like that. People are like, oh, Toph should never... She really should have. This was the only way her story could have concluded.
Yeah, I'm not against it. It's just like, there's a lot of issues that I have with like what happens with the gang. Like, obviously, like stuff with Sokka. It's like, oh yeah, Sokka's really cool. Sokka's like the fucking best.
I once felled a man who could firebend with his mind with my trusty boomerang. Like, you were like 30 years old and you were still telling that story.
Can't everyone firebend with their mind, technically?
I love that one scene, though, with fucking Zuko. It's like, oh, I once sent somebody with a similar ability to kill the Avatar. It's nice to know after 70 years, Zuko is still socially awkward.
Yeah. I once sent someone to kill you.
I still love that one fan art, though, of, like, a fucking old-ass Zuko picking up baby Korra. Like, I have captured the Avatar! Yeah. So fucking cute.
Yep.
I also love that one minifan comic of, like, it's like, Zuko, it's time. I knew this day would come. Breaking news, former police chief for Republic City and former Fire Lord Zuko have been seen attacking the drug cartels of Republic City in vigilante justice.
Yep.
It's like, oh man. It also makes sense that Zuko's one of the only people in the gang who wouldn't actually retire. Like, he's like, nah, my uncle didn't raise me that way. If there's a problem, I'm going to deal with it. And it's funny how he never actually joined the White Lotus. Probably because he saw how it became after his uncle and everything. He's like, yeah, that you guys have deviated from your purpose.
Yeah. It's just not the same. It's not the same secret order. It's not even a secret order.
No, to be fair, it couldn't be after they liberated Ba Sing Se.
Yeah. After that whole thing with Ba Sing Se, he's like, only once every 100 years can a firebender ever experience such power. Just fucking... Jesus.
And then you see fucking Pian Dao being like, why the fuck am I here?
You want to know how I got the name Dragon of the West?
I'm not really in the mood for one of your rambles, Uncle. It's more of a demonstration,
actually.
Also, not actually how we got the name Dragon of the West.
No, but
to be fair, that's kind of a retcon. But honestly, it's fine because we don't care because both explanations are cool.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, fire breathing is one of those secret techniques of firebending. Like, not everybody knows how to do it because people really because Iroh's like firebending comes from the breath.
The thing is, here's the thing. It's because fire breathing is a technique that uses airbending techniques, which is why most firebenders don't know how to do it. Because it specifically showed that like the whole like.
Zuko... Iroh created two techniques, one from studying airbending, one from studying waterbending, that were literally incorporated with firebending, allowed him to do certain things.
Exactly. The fire breathing technique, like the whole thing of like Zuko keeping himself warm in the cold, that was based on air. That was based on airbending techniques, and that's how he developed the fire breathing.
Breath of fire, yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously
have you seen
lightning
that
bending is fucking water.
Yeah. Have you seen redirecting lightning bending to be specific?
Yeah.
Have you seen that one mini redub where it's like Iroh talking about the Four Nations, but instead it's talking about PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Switch?
Yeah.
Nintendo is the element of fun. It's so fun. I was like, you know what? Actually, that's fair. Here's the problem. These are competing companies. You can't really, like, indulge in all of these without spending a fuck ton of money.
Ignore me.
Mr. Collector over here.
I have the 4 elements right there.
You don't treat them the way that Iroh presents them, though.
No, I don't. I focus on
I hate PC gaming. I don't like using a keyboard.
I don't like using
Disrespecting one of the fundamentals of PC gaming.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. If I didn't have to.
I just find it annoying I can't use my PlayStation controller for a lot of stuff on PC. It only wants to use Xbox. I'm like, no!
If I did not have to, I would never play a game on PC. Like, certain games can only be played on PC.
There are 3 games. 3.
Yeah.
That I'm like, yes, PC is definitive. And you agree with me on one of these.
Yeah.
Sims.
Yeah.
Minecraft. And Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, I disagree with that. Well, I agree with you, like, half. As in, like, The Sims, I feel like it is the only game
Needs a mouse. Needs a mouse and
keyboard. Like, well, you don't even need a keyboard, but
you need a mouse,
which you can do on PlayStation. So, like, but like, if your PlayStation is connected to the TV, you're really gonna set up a mouse fucking in front of.
No, at that point, use the
PC
so you can get the, and then also mods.
Yes. If I could mod on PlayStation.
I mean, to be fair, like certain games like Skyrim still lets you, but again, there's like limitations. Like we're only gonna allow certain mods. Like, you know.
Did you see? Speaking of games and Avatar, did you see that they're making a new Avatar fighting game?
Well, hopefully it turns out better than the previous ones, because every Avatar game that's ever come out has sucked.
Apparently, based on someone that I've seen, that like is like he was like they're actually giving it a lot of thought and care to how they're presenting the characters,
which they should.
Because like for example, like with Azula, which I told you about this. Where Azula has 2 forms. She has
manic and depressant.
Yeah, standard form and Fire Lord form, which like one is she's very like
put together
and tactical in her attacks, and one is stronger but like much more sporadic.
If not for the fact that it was Sozin's comet, Azula would not have lasted as long as she did against Zuko. She was literally just abusing the power boost to kind of just hurl things at him.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing is like Zuko's like, I could never defeat her normally. But like something slipped, and that's the thing is like they go to show it's like is
if Zuko is put together and Azula is not.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I do love about it is like that they show is like no, even with Zuko getting the power of the original fire, even him training in his spiritual training as being a firebender, even with him being as far into his journey as he is
letting
now,
go of his anger.
Yeah, letting go of his anger and far as into his journey as he is now, he admits in that moment, even then, he could not have beaten Azula had she not gone crazy.
I mean, it's like, I know you're going to say, she's my sister, I should get along with her. No, she's crazy. It needs to go down. See, that's the thing about Iroh, too. His whole thing is, like, being related by blood does not forgive all. If somebody does terrible, terrible things, do not forgive those people.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, she actually does earn forgiveness.
Later. Yeah, sure. After she goes through a character arc and earns it.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, she helps them find their mom.
Because Iroh's trying to help Zuko avoid his relationship he has with Ozai. It's like, no.
Yeah. Because like they do that whole thing of like the whole reason why Ozai treated Zuko so badly is because she was hoping that it was not his son. Well, no, it was.
Yeah. Well, she literally the whole thing is Ozai was just so petty that she's like, oh, he's your son. As much as I wish he wasn't, it's like, oh, you wish for not to be my son? Congratulations. Now I will never treat him as my son again.
Yeah.
You did this.
Yeah. And he's just that petty.
It's
the worst. However, they do that whole thing where it's like, oh, she's hiding. And it's like, oh, leaving Zuko there.
And to be fair, that is a Zuko-centric arc, so that being a comic kind of makes sense. I'm okay with that, kind of going off.
No, my problem is it kind of like takes away from her character a little bit. Honestly, it would have been better if she died. Like, because it's like, and like with how much she loved Zuko, would she have really abandoned him to fucking Ozai?
Here's the thing. I'm okay with her going off on her own journey because, again, she never asked to be Ozai's wife. She never asked for any of this. Her one regret with the course of this action is that she had to leave Zuko, but she made sure that she talked to him one last time and told him, remember who you are. Now, granted, it was only because of Iroh that Zuko did become a giant mess. And Zuko never blamed his mother once. He's like, no, my dad was a monster. I can't blame her. She did this to save my life. Now that my father is defeated and everything's okay, I'm going to find her so I can tell her it's okay and we're gonna be a family again.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if she had died, it would have been worse for Zuko. Literally the look on his face when he realized that she's still alive, because it means he has the hope that he can see her one more time. Like, it would have been worse for Zuko if she was dead. And without her being, and with her being alive, it gives Azula a reason to try for redemption. I mean, I can go on and on about how much our mother liked Zuko more than I did, but then more than she liked me. But honestly, I don't care. My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurts. I mean, in that moment, like, it's Azula literally not letting herself show that pain. Like, obviously, it fucking hurts her. We see her literally. It's like, what are you doing here? You think I'm a monster? No, Azula. I love you. I truly do. And she bursts into tears and throats because she can't hear it. Because literally, she actually sees herself as a monster, and she knows her mother loved her anyway, and it hurts her because her whole thing is like she has to earn love and trust, and she can't trust someone who loves unconditionally.
Yeah. Because Ozai is just that fucking...
She had to earn everything she did. And to be fair, she was a prodigy, so it was fairly easy. But again, Ozai broke both of his children. It's just they were people that were there to save Zuko. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the reason why she didn't save Azula was because Ozai literally wouldn't let her near her. It's like, that's your child. That's your thing. This one is mine.
Yeah. And it's because she's the prodigy. She is mine. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Which is like, oh, it's fucking brutal.
It's brutal.
Fucking brutal. And the fact that, like, it's like, oh... The whole thing with Mai and Zuko is so fucking stupid because it's like because that happens in the comics. That's not even a Korra thing. That's a comics thing where it's like you misunderstand. I love Zuko more than I fear you.
Like, you miscalculated.
Yeah,
like Mai literally prepared to die in that moment. She's like, "What are you doing, saving the jerk who dumped me?"
Yeah, like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you mean they break up in the comics?
Mai's entire solace in that moment is that she hopes she's fast enough to throw that knife and kill Azula before she's struck by that lightning. She thinks she's going to die. She thinks she's going to get struck by lightning. She hopes she can get that off, so it's a mutually assured destruction thing.
Yeah.
And Ty Lee just standing there being like, ugh.
Like, Mai literally about to die for Zuko. And then breaks up. Then they break up. In the fucking comics, and then she gets with another guy immediately afterwards, who is an Ozai loyalist, by the way.
What the fuck?
Yeah!
Why?
I'm pretty sure she doesn't know that.
I should hope so.
And I'm pretty sure that he's just using her to get close to Zuko because he's trying to kill Zuko because he's an Ozai loyalist and he's trying to be like, no, restore us back to the real Fire Nation and all that.
That is so funny. I just realized that Zuko and Mai are two edgy goths who got abused by their parents and also like knives. They're perfect for each other.
I wouldn't say that Mai was abused by her parents.
It's like I got anything that I wanted, as long as I was quiet and sat still. My mom said we had to think about my father's career. She was abused. It just wasn't as, like, physical.
Yeah, it just wasn't on the same level as Zuko. Where it's I'm going to fucking burn you.
Literally, that entire session is about, oh, look, these are 4 Fire Nation nobility. Their childhood sucked.
Yeah.
They're incredibly skilled warriors, efficient as fuck. They are deadly. But they're not okay. Because they were raised in a really fucked up environment. By parents who cared more about appearance than mental stability.
Yeah. Until it came to my little brother. Her little brother.
Oh, he was a baby. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
That's the people who was like, oh, Azula gets to have a character arc. She gets to recover. Yeah, because she was 14. And very clearly, this wasn't her fault.
Yeah, there's a lot of
people... That's very different from other people getting character arcs when they're full-ass adults.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh no, Azula should... And I'm like, guys, she's a child.
She was 14.
She was forced into
There
this.
is still time.
Yeah, like there's still time for one. For two, 80% of the stuff that she did is not on her. It's on
We have
Ozai.
not seen her kill anyone on screen. Attempted murder, yes, but we have not seen her kill anyone on screen. Therefore, as malicious as she is and as ruthless as she is, there's there's still, you can kind
And
of...
again, if it hadn't been Ozai that raised her, she wouldn't have wound up that way.
No, she would have been fine.
Yeah, if it had been Iroh.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Iroh was a lot... Well, I mean, he was a lot...
And then you have those people like,
he was a lot chiller, but he was a general in the Fire Nation Army. He conquered Ba Sing Se, and then his son died, and he gained perspective.
Yeah. No, people are like, oh, well, she
was
this
one of
way.
that spirit world journey.
He's like, she was this way when she was a child, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
Acting
like a child?
You think being 7 years old, raised by Ozai, you wouldn't be fucked up by that point?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how old she is. If you're being raised to be fucked up, you're going to be fucked up.
And even then, that is just child acting like a child. It's like, oh, she's tattletelling on her brother.
She's literally a noble, silver spoon having little sister.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know what the fuck
I don't know what you expected.
I always forget that she's younger than Zuko.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like, you must experience the pain of losing a firstborn son. Azulon, literally in that moment, not understanding Ozai at all, not understanding that Ozai would kill his son for a Klondike bar. It's like, I was like, oh, you gave me a reason to kill my son? Oh, thank you, Daddy. Like, Azulon just had no idea the monster his son was.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, Azulon, that's one of those crazy things. It's like, Azulon wasn't a good guy.
No, of
but
course
he wasn't evil the way Ozai is.
Oh, it was a sliding scale of, like, having good intention and just that good intention being corrupted, because those good intentions, you utilize them as an excuse to do awful things, and then it just kept snowballing from there, where it's just, like, oh, we're the Fire Nation, we're the greatest, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, that's what it's like Sozin was not evil.
He's like, we have this prosperity, the Fire Nation is flourishing, what if we shared that? And Roku was like, no, the 4 nations are meant to be exactly that.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, and so Sozin was not evil, but like,
he was ambitious.
He was ambitious. We don't know anything about his son, because Azulon was his grandson. Because it's Sozin, someone else, Azulon, and then Ozai.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong...
Well, it's a 100-year gap. Sozin lived for a while. Well, because Sozin... Maybe. I think you're right, but also the timeline could work with just Azulon. I don't know.
I was wrong. Azulon is Sozin's son.
Yeah, because it's 100 years, and so it's like with Sozin's age and Azulon's age and Ozai and everything, like, it still works for that all to happen within 100 years.
Azulon was born to Sozin at an advanced age of 80.
I mean, men can't have children until they die.
And was a firebending prodigy.
Of course.
Of course. Now that's the thing, is like, Azulon was not evil. He was just continuing his father's ambitions. Ozai!
He's a little confused, but he's got the wrong spirit.
Ozai is just straight up evil.
He's straight up evil.
Like
Iroh was like raised as in, like, you know, like the proud prince, like, this is the right thing, we're doing this, and then Iroh gained perspective because he was out in the war, being a warrior, where Ozai was home.
Yeah, and that was also the thing, is like, Iroh was at war. He was a general at war. He was not. And again, even whenever he was attacking Ba Sing Se, it's like, oh, it's not evil. This is just a war. It's a battle.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing evil about participating.
Yeah, it's like, this is a thing I took when they surrendered, thus assuming he took prisoners. He didn't just kill them all.
Exactly.
And even Azula's like, oh, I think our dad would make a much better Fire Lord than his kooky-loving, his tea-loving kookiness.
Yeah.
Which means Iroh was always more of like a jovial thing.
Exactly.
It was just, he thought what he was doing was right, and then he found out he very much wasn't.
Yeah. He gained some perspective.
Which is honestly one of the important things about having your heir. Like, if you're going to have your heir continue a war, having them fight on the front lines of that war and seeing what war does, the cost, all that, it's a good idea. Now, it can kind of run to the whole thing of, like, you know, them being very good at war and, like, glory and blood and that comes to that issue. But, like, it's more important for Iroh than because we saw what happened with Iroh and Ozai.
Ozai didn't even participate in the war.
No, he was not.
He was a spoiled brat.
Yeah, he did not participate at all. Now, to be fair, there's probably precedent for that only having one of your heirs go to war. So if they die, you have somebody else for the throne.
Yeah.
But still.
That's the thing, is like, Ozai never really experienced the war.
Hardship
at all. Nothing.
Never.
And so, like, it's like, you know, Ozai had zero perspective.
Yeah.
I am now the Phoenix King.
I have all the power in the world.
Like, aha. Keep telling yourself that, buddy.
Aha.
Because, like, I firmly believe that Azula could have taken down Ozai.
By the way, do you know how hot it would have to be in his fucking throne room? Flames like 5 feet in front of you.
Yeah, but
like
I'm pretty sure they're immune to like not like burns, but like Like they have heat resistance. Not immune. Like they have
Zuko would like to attest.
I'm pretty sure they have heat resistance. Like ambient heat they can resist because they're so used to it. Or it could be a whole thing.
They're channeling their ki to kind of protect them.
Yeah. Or it could be a whole thing of like, it's like, in order to be Fire Lord, you have to be like
resilient enough
to be or you do not deserve the spot of Fire Lord.
Here's the thing, though. Like we went, like most recently, we went to. Fun fact: we went to Universal Island Adventure here in Florida, like last week.
Yeah.
We went on that Spider-Man ride. That giant puff of flame. That was a pretty small puff of flame. That was really hot from that distance. Yeah. Imagine having way more fire, way closer to you,
completely surrounding you at all times.
How are you breathing?
It's just.
And you know how many layers he's wearing right now? Good God!
Maybe the layers are fire resistant. They're heat resistant.
They're Shvet. They have a thin layer of Shvet.
No wonder I say so skinny without doing any exercise.
It's literally it's all water.
It's just constantly sweating.
I mean, to be fair with the they're based on Japan, so like Japanese cuisine is like a lot of dishes, but it's based on rice.
Yeah, that's true.
In fish.
Yeah, because Japan, the Fire Nation. By the way, the Fire Nation is fucking tiny.
Yeah, Japan, China for Earth Kingdom,
Tibet
for the monks, and then Inuits for the which is not Asian, but what else were they gonna do?
It's really weird that the Fire Nation is so small to me. Like land wise. Like don't get me wrong, I understand a lot of the Earth Kingdom is literally just desolate nothing. Like
they are earthbenders, so they can literally move the earth to them. Makes sense. They have a lot more terrain.
I get that, and I get why the water tribes are where they are.
Because it's ice and snow. It's literally and
air nomads go wherever the fuck.
Yeah, they can fly.
But like, why is the Fire Nation so small? Like, why are Firebenders only born here?
I think honestly, it gives them an excuse for expansion.
I guess.
Like, why would any other kingdom want to expand? Only the Fire Nation has precedent for it.
Well, my point doesn't come down. I'm not talking about it from like a political standpoint or a landmass standpoint. What I mean is like, why is it that Firebenders are only born here? You know what I mean? Like, and that's another thing that they
cultural spiritualism.
Because like, if all benders come from the same sparks, right, which we've established in Korra, then why is it that only firebenders are birthing firebenders?
Why does every major metropolis have a Chinatown and a Spanish Harlem? Cultures like to congregate around one another. So because a lot of their bending disciplines come from their culture, it makes sense that people born into that culture... Like, there was a fan theory, which I actually think was really cool, is that Teo, that was his name, Teo, the wheelchair kid, gave birth to an air nomad.
Who?
Teo, the guy in the wheelchair who was the son of the mechanist.
Okay, yeah.
I like the idea where it's like, he gave birth to a airbender because he grew up in the air nomad tribe. He grew up in the temple, and Aang specifically said he has the spirit of an airbender. I liked that idea. It was a cool philosophy. So, like, if culture is based upon the original benders, like, you know, the moon, the earth badger moles, the dragons, the sky bisons. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes sense that, like, you wouldn't have somebody in the Earth Kingdom, like, you know, fucking give birth to a firebender. Like, it'd be kind of odd. Now, if you had a firebender and an earthbender have, like, you get together and have birth, then, you know, odds are odd. Like, I think there was another funny thing, like, before Korra came out, where it's, like, the idea that Sokka and Suki had children, and one of their kids was an earthbender, and Sokka had no idea what to do.
Like,
she's literally a Kyoshi warrior. Like, she was gonna give birth to it. Is anyone a Kyoshi Island earthbender? We never see any of them do that.
Other than Kyoshi, no. We don't.
Yeah, like, we see the Kyoshi warriors. It's literally, the Kyoshi warriors are a good example of, like, skill and technique can overcome bending disciplines if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, like, Suki is insane. It's like, all right, let me just run up this wall.
Well, Ty Lee's
grab by my feet on a pipe and just whoop.
Ty Lee's another good example. She's not a firebender, but, like, you know, she was very flexible and acrobatic, and, like, you know, she did, like, you know, chi blocking stuff. Yeah. And again, it's another reason for people to think that Ty Lee was, like, the descendant of an air nomad, because, like, you know, she fights like an airbender, actually.
Yeah, she does, because that is how airbenders fight. Mm-hmm. Which is funny that they tied it to waterbending.
Oh, chi blocking?
Yeah.
Well, because the whole thing about it, like, you know, speaking of sense the cheetah, they're the flowing of water, blood, liquid, stuff like that, and then...
Yeah, because, like, the bloodbender, yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna block your bending.
I mean, it's what makes water bending stealthily the most horrifying and dangerous. It's like, well, airbending can take the air out of your lungs. Yeah, but bloodbenders can take the blood out of your veins.
And earthbenders can just make you not exist.
Calcium.
Or it's just like, oh, the ground beneath your feet, no longer there.
I mean, to be fair, if you can find the imperfections in the metal, like, there are metals inside human beings. So technically speaking, everyone but firebenders can just fuck up your insides.
Yep. Which is funny, because, like, the whole thing was, like, but they have to ignore, you have to ignore that for storytelling purposes, because it's like, if
I mean, it's one of the things where, like, it's one of those things where you have to be like, they just don't know enough about anatomy.
Yeah. And it's like, with firebenders, it's like, what gave them such a big advantage is that
they could bring their element with them.
Yeah, they could firebend anywhere.
They could generate their own element.
Exactly. Which is why it was so
Which is so
stupid.
Shyamalan to be like, oh, they can bring their own fire. It's like, that was the whole reason.
That made them so dangerous. That's why they were winning.
And they could build such advanced machineries because they could literally make their own fuel. Everything was powered by, like, engines that they could just whoosh.
It's like, oh, how are they creating the fire? The fucking oxygen in the atmosphere.
All you need for fire is oxygen, heat, and an ignition point.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, not heat. Sorry, fuel.
Well, it can't just be oxygen. It has to be a few things. Because
it's the triangle of fire. It requires oxygen, a fuel source, and a spark.
Yeah. Well, what I mean by that is, like, if you threw a match into a room full of just oxygen, nothing would happen, because oxygen needs other elements too.
You're talking about explosions. I'm talking about just fire.
Oh, just fire. Yeah.
Just fire.
Yeah.
No, you're talking about stoichiometry.
Yeah. Because it's like well, you can't light a match in a room full of nothing but oxygen because it won't light. But yeah.
Won't it?
No.
I know humans require more than just oxygen.
I
thought fire only.
I'm like 60% certain of that.
Huh? You can look it up.
Let me double check that. Wouldn't be the first time I said it down on a podcast.
Because I think obviously humans, like, oh, they breathe oxygen. Yeah, but it's not the only thing humans breathe. Like, humans need other, like, our atmosphere is very particular with the amount of things that we need to breathe.
But no, it wasn't because of that. It's because I think the oxygen needs something to burn into or something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe. Like, hydrogen burns.
It's kind of like the whole, like, oxygen itself is not flammable. It does not burn.
But fire breathes, and it breathes oxygen.
Yeah. Okay.
But
okay.
But again, it's like
okay. So here's the thing. It's from what it says.
Because striking a match, like, it has something to
chemicals.
burn.
It has the chemicals that it needs itself to set itself on fire.
Yeah.
And then the oxygen will just allow the flame to breathe. So that is correct that you could light a match into it.
Yeah, oxygen itself is not flammable.
Yeah.
But, like, it is required for things to burn.
However, like, you could not light a fire without specific elements, I think is what the thing is. It's like in a room full of nothing but oxygen. Like, I think it's like for example, you couldn't activate a lighter in a room full of nothing but oxygen because there's nothing to get the flame to ignite, if that makes any sense.
Well, no, because the lighter is literally has the fuel in it to cause it to ignite.
I remember seeing something about this in a textbook, and I don't remember what this specifically was. Like, I remember seeing something about it. Like, there's something about, like, if it was just oxygen, it wouldn't survive. But I don't know what that specifically was.
Well, again, like I said, fire needs three things. One of the things it needs is oxygen.
Because
fire breathes.
Yeah, fire breathes. Yeah.
That's why after a certain point, if it's in a room full of just oxygen, eventually it will snuff itself out because eventually it will use up all the oxygen in the room.
Really fucking fast.
Hence why if you're exploring a cave, don't use a torch.
Yeah, no.
It will suck up all your oxygen.
Yep. No, use a torch, not a porch.
What, we British?
Yeah.
I know you're going.
The fact that they call it torches is so fucking
I mean, it makes sense for the extrapolation.
Yeah, it's all right, light the torch.
We have a lot of different names for things here. It's a bit stupid, isn't it?
Put in the boot.
I say roaches. That's British for shrimp.
Grab me some chips. What the fuck is this? Lays. That's what you asked for. I asked for chips. Fucking British people.
Okay, I can make those jokes. My dad spent a year in the UK. He did, but like
I didn't. I just hate British people.
And my dad also spent 3 years in Germany, so
yeah. I just like making fun of British people. I don't have any other excuse.
We can make fun of our abusive daddy. That's when I make that joke. People are like, oh, America's so stupid. It's like, we learned it from Britain. And Britain learned it from Rome. I'd be an earthbender. Almost assuredly. I would like to be a firebender, because fire is cool.
Yeah, you would be an earthbender.
I'd be an earthbender, undoubtedly.
As far as I go...
Probably a waterbender. Probably a waterbender. These aren't like Hogwarts houses, but like...
Hogwarts houses like these, but like if it's based on... Yeah, I'd probably end up being a waterbender.
Plane's probably a firebender. As is probably Mad Dragon. They kind of let their emotions kind of drive them a lot. They're very passionate.
Yeah.
Ain't
none of us airbenders.
None of us are airbenders. Not a one of us.
Not a one of us.
Ryan's either a waterbender or an earthbender.
He's definitely an earthbender. He's too hard-headed.
Again, like I said, these aren't Hogwarts houses, but like, you know.
What kind of bender would you be?
I mean, Zaire was an airbender he murdered, so it's not like there are hard rules.
Yeah, no. I mean, to be fair, that was like after.
I mean, it is kind of one of it's actually one of those interesting things for the slippery slope thing, where it's like, oh, he can fly because it's one of those things he truly released himself from all worldly concerns. The only thing he cares about was freedom, therefore, it's okay to kill.
Yeah.
It's not an earthly concern, whereas the other monks were like, killing is wrong. But he was like, but why, though? There wasn't anyone else to argue their philosophy about
that. That is the craziest thing, is that Zaire was technically the most, like... Free of all of the monks. Mm-hmm. He was the most monk of all the monks, which is insane.
He literally had zero earthly concerns other than allowing other people to achieve their own enlightenment.
Exactly.
Which rules and structures in society got in the way of as he saw it.
Yeah. Zaire's philosophy was interesting.
Because, honestly, Toph makes a good point where it's like, everyone took their philosophies too far, but that's not why they were villains.
Yeah, no.
They were just lying assholes for at least two of them.
Zaire wasn't.
Zaire,
what made him a villain was his philosophy.
But he had the worst philosophy, which is anarchy.
Yeah.
Amon was a liar. He only wanted control. Unalaq was a liar. He just wanted power. Zaire was an idiot. And...
However...
And Kuvira was just trying to correct things.
Yeah, Kuvira wasn't evil.
She took her philosophy too far. Mm-hmm. She wanted balance, or like control, or order. But again, they never really showed us enough about Kuvira to like really be like, oh yeah, this was totally unwarranted, until she made the giant super weapon mech suit.
Yeah, even then.
And it's like, why did you do this? What compelled you to do this?
That was one of the things that when I was watching this, I was like, why am I rooting against
Now,
Kuvira?
to be fair, as weird as this is, the giant super mecha robot would make sense to me. If Korra was actually as powerful as an Avatar should be. Kuvira being like, the only person in my way is the Avatar. And unlike having Sozin's Comet, she would need an endgame to face against the Avatar, but Korra wasn't strong enough to warrant it.
Here's my thing, right? I hate how a lot of people were like, oh, Korra should have been able to easily take out Kuvira at this point. And it's like, guys, this is like, and whenever she first fights Kuvira and Kuvira wipes the fucking floor with her. Yeah. It's like, guys, we are literally coming directly off the whole Zaire shit and losing connection with all the avatars and her depression and literally hating herself.
Correct.
And like,
correct.
It makes perfect sense that she lost that fight.
Correct.
Handily.
But the problem was, like, we're to give her the Avatar state and all 4 elements and no problem. Oh shit, we made her way too powerful. Well, we're moving away from the philosophy and angle, so we need to do something to make her not so strong so she doesn't just body all of her villains, remove her from the Avatar state, disconnect her from her previous lives, and poison her, and just kick this shit out of her. Make her a kicked puppy. So by the time she fights Kuvira, she is so weak and pitiful and pathetic, she can't defend herself.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal. They brutalized Korra in season 4.
That's the thing about it, is like, when she fought Zaire, there was no philosophy to deal with, and when she fought Kuvira, they stopped caring altogether. So at that point, all they had was the fight, and they had spent 2 seasons kicking Korra, so she couldn't just whoop Kuvira, because they wanted a giant epic final battle like they had against Ozai, but obviously the circumstances and the framing had to be different, so it just went to shit. Again, it could have worked. The whole fighting giant mech suit, super weapon to fight the Avatar could have worked if they hadn't made Korra a bitch.
And then she gets with Homegirl at the very end.
I'm fine with her getting with Asami, honestly.
No,
I have zero issues with it.
I'm not. Like, where's the fucking setup for this, man?
The thing is, though, I think it could have worked. Again, the idea where it's like Korra was very sheltered. She only knows about the world from what she's read. So she's like, she eventually gets out of Republic. She actually meets Public City. She sees Mako. He's broody. He's a teenager. He's edgy. The whole thing is like, oh, like reading stories, guys and girls get together, this whole thing about it. And then for some reason, her and Mako's relationship just never worked out. She doesn't quite know why.
I have no problem with her being, it's not her being gay that my
And
problem
then, like,
is.
her whole thing was Asami, and the whole thing works together. It's like, oh, saving the whole thing. It's the idea I had about it, where it's like, oh, she reads that the princess, the damsel, gets saved. It's like, oh, Mako, I'll be the damsel, but she's fucking ripped in the Avatar. So Asami is actually her damsel, and she's the prince, not going for a transgender thing, to be specific, but like, like a masculine, feminine kind of role thing. It's like, it could have worked, could have been neat. And you have somebody,
the problem
again, it's like fucking Sokka and Suki. You have someone badass and awesome and can, like, bench press, a train. And then you have somebody who's really intelligent and skillful and thinks about shit. They were a perfect couple on paper.
Yeah.
The show just didn't do anything with it.
There's zero setup for that. Like, if they had gone through season 4 and, like, actually shown her, like, them developing a relationship.
This was also, like, what, 2013? 2015?
Yeah. And again, it has no problem. We have established that I have no issue with gay characters.
No, but this
is
well-established information. But again, this was back when cartoons were still kind of scared to do that.
Well, I have no problem with, again, I have no problem with that. The problem is like, for the love of God, give me some fucking setup, please. Mm-hmm. Like,
they were too scared to. That was the problem.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like, the whole being scared thing, 'cause it's like, I firmly believe they could have been a great couple.
Yeah.
We just didn't get to see them be a couple at all. And then they just walk into the spirit world together at the very end.
Hey, it's just the issue with Korra, where it's like, the foundation was good, the ideas presented were interesting, they just weren't allowed to follow through with any of it.
They did that whole thing where it was like Kyoshi, Roku, and Korra's, like, love interests all look very similar.
That's why I love the whole thing about it. That one post is like, with Rob, it's like, why are you gay?
and then like Aang over here just being like, because the only person in his life that looked similar to all of them was fucking Azula, and Aang just being like,
have you seen all those fucking shipping posts about Aang and
Azula?
Yeah, literally. I saw one the other day where it's like, it's Aang lifting up a baby with Azula, and Aang, like, screaming, no! And he's waking up, and Katara's like, go back to bed. Guys, I understand, pin cushion couples are really fun. Aang's the cushion, Azula's the pin. Really neat. Everyone's like, Aang needs somebody in his life to, he asked for no pickles, actually.
Have you met
Azula and Aang? They would not work together.
No,
it's like all those people who were like shipping fucking Elsa and Jack Frost.
You know who would work with Azula? You know who would work with Azula? Sokka. Sokka would 100%.
I don't know. Him and Ty Lee are a lot more fun.
They are 100%, but that's just
Sokka getting all the baddies, dude. He's not even trying.
He's not even trying.
Sokka, the woman bender. Bender, I barely know her.
He's about to bend her over.
Bend her over. I literally thought of that too.
Fucking, oh my god, because it's Sokka, it's like...
Mastered literally all 4 non-bending techniques from all 4 nations.
Yeah.
Guys, I hate to break it to you. Engineering was not an air nomad technique.
No. But fucking, no, because it's like, he goes like, I get with the moon. And the leader of the Kyoshi warriors.
Hang on. Suki, Yue,
Ty
Lee, there are no airbending females. So technically speaking...
Unfortunately.
He got 3 out of 4.
I mean, we don't know. Let's wait to see what this movie comes out.
The only airbenders after that would be his fucking, like...
Great.
Grandnieces? Is that how that works?
Because
Tenzin's his nephew.
It would just be his nephew.
It was just his nieces?
Yeah.
His great niece? Yeah. Because the only airbending women would be family, and that's no.
Yeah, no, that's...
Absolutely not. Not to mention, only the family.
Like,
huge age gap.
Huge age gap.
Not okay.
He's dead before they're even, like, conscious.
Which sucks!
Yeah, which is so dumb.
I mean, it makes sense that Sokka dies first. I mean, he is the one who would drink cactus juice.
Well, he's also a male.
Rotten eggs.
Yeah, like, and from what we've seen, male waterbenders don't actually live that long. Like
Why do you think waterbenders learn how to heal?
Like, female waterbenders we've seen live a long time, but male waterbenders never really did.
Honestly, it makes sense the Southern Water Tribe is as, like, depleted as it is, because, like, ice and snow, for generations, they were literally just molding the landscape with their bending. So if a building broke, they'd have no way of fixing it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that's why they literally just have, like, little huts, like, things that were able to make out of, like, igloos that you could make by hand.
And then the Northern Water Tribe just being bitches. Not even trying to help their brethren.
Well, it's kind of a long ways away. It's not like they knew it was happening.
Yeah, it is kind of on the opposite side of the
It
planet.
honestly makes sense that after 100 years of war, they would become disconnected. They couldn't just send messengers. They'd be afraid that the Fire Nation would just...
Yeah. Fire Nation.
Because the only 3 nations who have easy ways of getting around were the Air Nomads, the Sky Bison, the Waterbenders, because they could make boats and just literally bend themselves. And
Wait, was that Sozin's plan? Was his plan to be like... Because, like, he killed the Air Nation, right? Mm-hmm. To wipe out the Avatar. But he knew that the Avatar would have been reincarnated. So that's the reason why he kept sending people to raid the Water Tribes.
Because they knew afterwards...
Would be the Water Tribe. Was his plan to make the next Avatar a Fire Nation Avatar?
Potentially.
So that way he could... like, basically from when they're young, indoctrinate them.
I mean, and the only reason they went to the Southern Water Tribe first was simply because
it's easier to access.
It was closer. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and that's why they immediately attacked the water.
Well, it wasn't immediately. It was. I don't know how old Hama is, but obviously Sozin was pretty old. So it was like,
well, based on that, like what they had shown is
when they attacked Hama was pretty young, and when they get there, she was pretty old. So it makes sense that they would kind of like, oh, I'm here for all the waterbenders.
Yeah. Because
they knew they didn't have the power to just wipe out the entire thing, and also the whole thing is like, again, they weren't trying to kill them.
Yeah.
They were literally just, oh, we're gonna just, and they couldn't get to the Northern Water Tribe because to stop to refuel and resupply would require them to have to stop in Earth Kingdom territory, and they just hadn't conquered enough of it to work. Not to mention Ba Sing Se is in the north, so
yeah. And plus, after the Fire Nation one, is like there would have been no one to reincarnate. In their mind, there would have been no one for the Avatar to reincarnate into. So, like, if he had gone through the full cycle,
I honestly, in that instance, I full honestly believe that it just would have picked the most logical choice and then just Air Nomad.
Yeah,
or exactly. Airbender at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Because again, like with Teo, like for example, he was an Earth Kingdom, but like he had the spirit of an Airbender. So
yeah.
That is actually something I don't think a lot of people think about, honestly, is the fact that the reason why the Southern Raiders actually attacked the Southern Water Tribe and took all the Waterbenders and kept them alive was actually for that sake, in case, you know...
One of them was the Avatar?
Yeah. Makes sense.
And the next Avatar did end up getting born into the Southern Water Tribe, so...
Mm-hmm. And then raised in the Northern Water Tribe.
And then raised on the Northern Water Tribe, yeah.
Again, it's just for that same reason. It's like the Northern Water Tribe was just way more heavily fortified.
I do like the polar bear dog way more than the bison, by the way.
Aesthetically, I agree with you, but Appa's way more useful than than Naga was.
I'm just talking about purely aesthetic purposes. The polar bear dog.
Have you seen those mini comics of like Naga giving birth and everything of that, and the Asami's? It's like I don't know what to do, and it picks up as like and it becomes polar bear dog mom with like the dog like in the little baby stroller on the. It's adorable. It's really cute.
Like the little baby pouch on the belly.
Like they become like dog moms. It's so so adorable.
It's like, oh, they had kids. It's like...
Because, honestly, I'm a firm believer. Like, it just makes sense that the Avatar requires an animal companion.
Yeah, because, like, all of them have had one.
Well, I don't know what Kyoshi's
We don't know about
Rox
Kyoshi,
or Yang-Chen's or any of theirs was, but obviously Roku had a dragon. He had Fang. And then, you know, obviously Aang had Appa. But that's also, like, way more of the air nomads have animal companions than the other nations do. Because, like, every kid, for the most part, gets a Sky Bison companion.
Yeah, and
But again, I think it kind of comes down to the whole like philosophy angle, where like the Enlightenment and the Sky Bisons being the original benders. It's just the nomads made a much more deeper connection with the Bison, whereas the Earthbenders became more self-reliant, and of course, you know, the Water Nation being like the first bender was the Moon.
Yeah. We learned how to move the water from the moon.
You just push and pull and push and pull and push and pull.
My first girlfriend turned into the moon. That's rough, buddy.
Maybe the moon spirit just turned bad. I can't say the other thing. The moon spirit! I did not realize when I first watched that. I was like, why is Sokka so fucking angry about this? I totally forgot about Yue. Speaking of Yue, by the way, pet peeve of mine. I don't buy his and Yue's relationship at all. They knew each other for like, what, 3 episodes, and they were in love and became boyfriend and girlfriend?
Several times.
Yeah, but I want the podcast to know, because I've seen people online coming onto my side. His relationship with Suki was way better, had way more foundation to it, and yeah,
absolutely.
It was over as many episodes, to be clear. But, like, we saw the relationship develop, unlike Sokka and Yue, where it's like, oh, hello, I am person talking to you now. Whoops, I fell into the water. Teehee, that's funny. Hey, would you like to do an activity later? Sure, here's a fish I sculpted for you. I'm in love with you! What?
They only had so many episodes to establish the
Yeah, but you still could have done it way fucking better.
Love at first sight, man. You just don't understand.
Love at first sight? I'm reading 100 Girlfriends. I 100% understand. Here's the difference, though.
Yeah, those relationships are way less built up.
They're less built up. But again, we see the relationship happen. The entire point of the chapter the woman is introduced in is defining their relationship and how Rentaro makes them love him.
They got like 4 episodes with that whole interaction between her and fucking Sokka.
Yeah, and what happened?
She died.
No. She went, oh, I can't be with you. I'm engaged. I like you too much. Oh, let's go for a walk. We can't do this. I like you too much. Oh, let's go for a ride on Appa. We can't do this. I like you too. It's fucking Anakin and Padme all over again.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there is.
No,
it's bad storytelling.
We'll just have to agree to disagree on that one.
The thing is, I'm not against them being together. What I'm saying is the show did a really shitty job presenting it. Because Yue dies, so it doesn't matter if they were together or not. But, you know, I would have liked a better romance. That way when she dies, it's much more tragic.
The moon spirit is full of kindness and love.
I don't remember the line. I wish I
did.
If I did, I would totally quote it because it's funny.
Yeah. The moon spirit is super kind and
You'd think Yue would be like, oh, you're using me for bloodbending? No.
Oh yeah, she is the moon.
She's the moon.
And that's the thing.
No, it's the ocean spirit. No, it has to be during a full moon, so it has to be the moon spirit. I don't know, man.
Because that is the other thing too. Is like it's established even after she goes in, like she becomes the moon spirit.
Yeah.
So it's like it's her. It is Yue.
Yeah, we see her
later in the
talk
series.
to Aang as the moon spirit, and she literally raises her hand to the ocean.
Exactly. So it's like. I don't think she would let Amon bloodbend. No, not Amon.
Hama
bloodbend.
She let Katara do it. They were friends.
Yeah, they were friends.
They were using him on the Fire Nation. They deserved
it. Yeah.
But Amon? Yeah, no, I don't really see that. No. Other things like
Moon Spirit, I'm gonna take away your bending.
She wanted to be like, nah. Not for that one.
Yeah, not for that one.
Because they literally established it doesn't matter if you've learned how to bend, if the spiritual source of bending, like, there has to be a spiritual connection. You're channeling some kind of entity to bend. It's established, it is, because the Tween Law, the ocean spirit, the moon spirit, like, literally.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally channeling them to be able to bend. Now, we just don't know what entities the other 3 nations utilize.
Yeah, that's right, because that's the reason why the Firebenders can't bend during a solar eclipse.
It's because the sun was blocked over. So whatever the sun spirit is the source of firebending.
Yeah.
We just don't know who that is. They're never presented to us, which is fine. Honestly, we don't need to know.
Yeah, we don't need to know.
Like, it worked in Season 1 because, like, that was actually pivotal to the plot. Like, lore expansion-wise, we don't need a Silmarillion explaining all this bullshit. Again, the more you explain the magic, the worse it is.
Yeah.
We know enough. It's okay.
Yeah.
We can go with this premise. Now, it's fun for fans to world build and come up with their own ideas. That's perfectly fine. Creators need to know when to stop.
You know what? I want a fucking Avatar Last Airbender game where you can just make your own bender.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. And I know they can make games. Ignoring the fucking PS2 quality fucking PS5
yeah, those were all just not good.
I don't understand. Like those games that they released on the PS2 weren't bad. You know, they're not great, but they're fucking licensed games. They weren't bad. I actually played Burning Earth all the time on the Game Boy. It's a pretty fun game.
The only Avatar games I ever played was the Flash games on Nickelodeon.com.
Oh, dude, like I remember the 2 ones that I played the most, right? The 2 Flash games that I played the most were the one with you had like the towers.
The fighting game and then the siege game.
Yeah, the fighting game. So the fighting game where you created your own thing and then you had like the 3 moves that you could do and you had to fight.
I could not comprehend the Toph Serpent Path game. when I was growing up. Because again,
me neither.
I was a kid. I didn't read the instructions. The
Me
only
neither.
thing I could figure out how to do was like if I hit down, it goes down. But like it doesn't.
Dude, the Siege Tower game was like so fucking fun. It's like, all right, we're gonna launch. All right, so I'm gonna buy the fucking thing that launches across. It's honestly, if you go, I played it not that long ago. For the Flash.
Because I have that one program that just has a giant stockpile of Flash games.
Yeah. And so I played it, and I was like, man, this is a lot less
fun.
No, not necessarily fun. It's
Tactical.
a lot less tactical than I remembered it.
Just
being.
once you memorize the exact angle and power, it's like it's over.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, oh, well, why would you ever use this one when you could purchase this one? You know what I mean? And then certain ones of them, like certain nations' powers are just way stronger than other nations, which is a little annoying. Like you have the Fire Nation lava one where it just like creates that lava wave. And it's like, why would you ever use the other ones? See, like that one that like creates a bunch of fireballs that go in a straight line.
See,
like,
it would have worked if like they had each one that worked where it's like the Earth Kingdom create like a barrier, like the Water Kingdom can like heal itself. That way there's like a counter to it instead of there's all being like really just damaging spells.
Yeah.
I say spells, but
still fun though.
Still fun.
It's like the fucking Kids Next Door, Codename Kids Next Door one where you had to like launch the hamster.
The hamster, yeah.
Yeah. I know there's like a lot of games
Cartoon
like that.
Network, in my opinion, had way better games than Nickelodeon did on the computer.
I think they did too, because they had the Ben 10 one where you got to like transform.
Battle Ready, yeah.
Battle Ready. They had
that Foster's Home MMO kind of thing. Wasn't an MMO, you just kind of explored.
Yeah, and then Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network both had ones where you had like a wrestling ring, and then you had to like fight. You had like characters from different Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon shows. And they all had like their own unique movesets.
Yeah, like in Cartoon Network, they had like that mech thing where like you pick different mechs based on different characters.
Yeah, and then Nickelodeon had one very similar, except it was the actual characters.
Yeah.
And like I remember Timmy Turner had this like ability where he could like throw his hat as one of his fucking attacks. And
Mario Odyssey confirmed.
Yeah, and I was like, I miss old Kid Flash games.
I always loved that game because like when I would pick Schnitzel, it'd be Schnitzel. I would always pronounce it. That era of Cartoon Network was just the best. There was our eras. Well, to be fair, there were some bits of the eras, like the progression where it's like some of it was not.
Well, because our era also had Boomerang, so we kind of had like the previous era and the modern.
Yeah, the Hanna-Barbera era. Where, so like the 2000s really was like.
And nowadays you have like fucking regular show, Amazing World of Gumball, and fucking all that shit on Boomerang, and it's like, ugh.
It's all coming back to you.
Yeah, it is.
And that's a problem.
And now it's a problem because all the shows that we used to watch on Boomerang are no longer on fucking Boomerang.
Yeah.
It's like we need a boomerang for the love of God.
We just need all these old shows to just be on a streaming service and just stay there.
Yeah, just stay there. For the love of God, why is it so difficult to watch Shaolin Showdown?
The annoying thing about it is, like, Max could very easily. It's just the fucking CEO is stupid.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't respect animation.
Paramount is just a bad streaming service. Like, I don't know what fucking cookie gremlins are, like, keeping the thing together, but they are failing at their job.
Dude, it was so fucking hilarious when it was Netflix and Paramount Plus were at war trying to buy HBO Max, right? And on one hand, people like, oh, well, Netflix already owns like 20% of streaming, and if they own that, it was like, is an argument to be making monopoly? It's like, no, it's not, because to be a monopoly, you have to own like 50% of the market or something like that.
It's also
so this wouldn't even be close. However, right, because HBO Max is it would make them like 30%. It's like, honestly, Paramount purchasing it would be better from like a competition standpoint.
Worse from a consumer standpoint.
For a consumer standpoint, because like, say what you want about Netflix, at least its UI fucking works.
Yes.
Paramount Plus can't make a UI to save their fucking life.
My problem with Disney Plus is, for me recently, like, it'll crash all the time for no reason on me and be like, oh, can't do this, can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, why? And then you have stuff like Crunchyroll when it merged with Funimation now. But the problem with how Japan does it is seniority matters more than anything else. So even though Crunchyroll was more popular, hence why Crunchyroll stuck around, a lot of Funimation executives took over for Crunchyroll positions, and that's why Crunchyroll has gone downhill since the merger.
Yeah. However, I don't really have a lot of issues. I don't really see a lot of those issues because a lot of them have to do with like subtitling, and I could not give two shits about subtitling.
Well, here's an example. In Slime that I experienced recently that you're going to deal with. You know how like Great Sage or Raphael later on will be like, notice, and then we'll like have like some text on screen?
Yeah.
And they'll talk to you? Yeah, that scene will happen, it'll go away, and then the English subtitle will appear on screen telling you what's said.
That's weird.
Horrendous. Like,
Ooh.
guys, yeah, while they're speaking in English, there are certain things on text on screen that is kind of important I would like to read.
Yeah. Just learn Japanese.
You yourself.
This isn't even Japanese.
Why is there 3 alphabets?
Yeah, why is there 3 alphabets? Honestly, and I am not kidding, and people can get upset at me all they want about this, there is one simple thing that you could change about the Japanese language that would make it to where you would not require any kanji. And that's the use of fucking space. Use spaces, and you will not need kanji. The 2 alphabets is fine, because they're literally just the same alphabet twice. It's just one's more meant to, like, emphasize words, or is used, because you have hiragana and katakana. Hiragana is, like, the basic, like, pretty much everything's done in hiragana with a mixture of kanji. The reason why they throw in kanji is because you need kanji to represent certain words to basically break apart the sentence structure, which, again, you wouldn't need to fucking do if you had spaces in your language. Number 2, katakana is usually used to, like, either emphasize words, because it's not what it's supposed to be doing, but it is used to emphasize words, or to translate specifically other languages' words into Japanese. So basically, and what I mean by that, I don't mean like, oh, it's making a whole new word. It's like hamburger just becomes hamburger. It's fucking like hamburger. Like literally, and I that's not the actual. I was mispronouncing it, but like it's basically the same fucking word, just in Japanese phonetics. So like it's phonetically Japanese, but it's the same word. It's just told. It's spoken in a way that Japanese. It's just certain sounds. It's just certain sounds just don't exist in the Japanese language. Exactly. So. Like the or fucking There's no
By the way, throwing this out there, you can rage bait in the comments all you want. I do not care. Avatar is not an anime.
Yeah, I'm not. That's getting into politics.
It's not. Be mad. I don't care. Mother's Basement. I don't care how much of a thing you try to make look. Anime is an art form. Avatar is not anime.
That's getting into politics. I'm gonna cut it over there. So that'll do us for today.
I mean, honestly, we've been recording for like an hour and 40 minutes. So.
Yeah, I was about to actually call it. So like, yeah, we'll call it there.
Yeah.
Rage bait, debate in the comments on whether or not Avatar. Leave us a comment. Do you think Avatar: The Last Airbender is an anime? And if you think it is, tell us why. And if
well, let me ask you a question. If it wasn't based in Asian mythology, would you still think it's anime?
So answer that question down in the comments,
because Teen Titans takes a lot of inspiration from certain anime, a lot of its jokes, but Teen Titans is not anime.
So debate these in the comments below. Because I refuse to answer this question on the air, because that is a catch-22.
Coward. Coward.
Until next time, guys, I've been Cody.
I've been Aaron.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Crack it.